back to not Numbers. Go back to 1 Maccabees 2 and 54.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 54. Phinehas, our father, in being zealous and fervent, obtained the covenant of an everlasting priesthood.
Who was the precept for this? How Phinehas had favor with the Most High God through his actions? Who knows where is that at? Soldier of justice. Shalom. All right, let's get that. Numbers 25 and 6. If you didn't have that, write that there in your Apocrypha. These are all great examples of our forefathers.
The book of Numbers, chapter 25 and verse 6.
And disclaimer, what we're about to read here, I'm not saying, the Most High is not saying go out and do this right now. So, let me say that before we read this.
The book of Numbers, chapter 25 and verse 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel.
So how do we know we're not supposed to be dealing with heathens? Interracial marriages. Brother Isaiah, what's the scripture?
Deuteronomy 7:5.
7 and 3. 7 and 3. It starts there, but yeah. Or interracial relationships. All right, keep reading.
And behold, book of Numbers, chapter 25 and verse 6. And behold, one of the children of Israel came and brought unto his brethren a Midianitish woman in the sight of Moses, and in the sight of all the congregation of the children of Israel.
So he wasn't hiding it. He was flaunting her around.
Who were weeping before the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And when Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the priest, saw it.
So one of the Levites seen it.
He rose up from amongst the congregation.
Because he seen the sin that was happening, and he wanted to get the sin out of the congregation before the Most High judged all of them.
And took a javelin in his hand.
Took a javelin in his hand.
And he went after the man of Israel into the tent.
He followed him to his tent where he took the woman at.
And thrust both of them through.
And thrust both of them through.
The man of Israel. And the woman through her belly.
So to thrust both of them through like that, what were they doing? They was having sex.
So the plague was stayed from the children of Israel.
So the Most High's plague was stayed from the children of Israel because he was like, nah, I'm not about to have this brother bring the Most High judgment upon all of us. You gotta go. You and that woman, y'all both gotta go.
Y'all gotta imagine and seeing what happened there. He had actually tippy-toe and get the javelin like this, grab it, and go over, and then plunge it through. Like that's just you just seeing it, reading it and then imagining it in your eyes is like incredible. Like you ever see the Friday the 13th, y'all old school? Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Hey, it's a movie. It's called Freddy vs. Jason. It was a scene in that movie just like that. I don't know if y'all remember. Y'all remember? It was a scene in that movie just like that where there was a little white couple. They was in the bed. They was having sex. And then Jason came in and like thrust them through with the machete. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can find it, if it's not too graphic, no? Okay, all right. But just, if you remember that movie, that's exactly how it happened. That just popped up in my head.
All right, keep reading. Verse 9.
Verse 9. And those that died in the plague were 20 and 4,000.
So those that died from the Most High's plague was 20 and 4,000, which could have been more. Keep reading.
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron the priest, have turned my wrath away from the children of Israel. While he was zealous for my sake among them, that I consume not the children of Israel in my jealousy. Wherefore, say, behold, I give unto him my covenant of peace.
So that's why Phinehas, he wasn't where he wasn't blamed or said he committed a sin by killing that man and the woman, because he did that to turn away the wrath of the Most High God. So the Most High God was cool with that at that time. So let's go back to 1 Maccabees. Let's go to 2 and 55 now.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 55.
Jesus. Joshua. Write that down there so we have that.
Jesus, for fulfilling the word, was made a judge in Israel.
Who has that precept? It's inside his book. Get Joshua 1. Joshua 1 and 1. So fulfilling the word is what? What are you doing if you're fulfilling the Most High's word? Keeping the commandments. Remember, literally almost everything goes back to keeping the commandments in the Bible. That's all. It all goes back to that.
The book of Joshua, chapter 1 and verse 1. Now after the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, it came to pass that the Lord spake unto Joshua the son of Nun.
Because Joshua was following in Moses' footsteps, aka following the laws that the Most High gave to him.
Moses ministered, saying, Moses my servant is dead. Now therefore arise, and go over this Jordan, thou and all this people, unto the land which I do give to them, even to the children of Israel.
So now it was Joshua's duty to carry our people into the promised land. Or where's Officer Manuel at? Or as Officer Manuel say, the land of milk and honey. All right, let's go back to 1 Maccabees 2 and 56.
The book of 1 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 56. Caleb, for bearing witness before the congregation, received the heritage of the land.
What is this talking about? Brother Gad.
Caleb and Joseph and Joshua went into the promised land.
Okay, because they were doing what?
Because they kept the laws and commandments.
Because they kept the laws and the commandments. Get Numbers 14 and 30. Numbers 14 and 30.
The book of Numbers, chapter 14 and verse 30. Doubtless ye shall not come into...
Yeah.
Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein, save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun.
Wait, read that again.
Verse 30. Doubtless ye shall not come into the land concerning which I swear to make you dwell therein.
Because the generation before them weren't allowed into the land of Israel. Keep reading.
Save Caleb the son of Jephunneh.
Save there means except for. These are the ones who are going to be allowed into the land.
Save Caleb the son of Jephunneh and Joshua the son of Nun.
Keep reading.
But your little ones, which he said should be a prey, them will I bring in, and they shall know the land which ye have despised. So
basically all the murmurers, all the ones who praise the false God, all the Israelites who weren't keeping the commandments from that generation didn't make it in. Sadly. But that was the Most High's will. All right, go back to 2 Maccabees 2 and 57.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 57. David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom.
David, for being merciful, possessed the throne of an everlasting kingdom. 2 Samuel 7 and 12. I want somebody to break it down to me. What is this talking about right here? Because I want to know, how can David, if he died, how can he possess an everlasting kingdom? Who can read 2 Samuel 7 and 12? I don't see who can break it down.
The book of 2 Samuel, chapter 7 and verse 12. And when the days be fulfilled, and thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, I will set up thy seed after thee, which shall proceed out of thy bowels, and I will establish his kingdom.
Keep reading.
He shall build an house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever.
Who knows what this is talking about? Brother David? Yeah, Brother David. Got it right.
It's talking about like after David is passed, the seed that is set up for Christ, like setting up Christ's kingdom forever.
Okay. Good job. Keep reading.
Verse 14. I will be his father, and he shall be my son. If he commit iniquity, I will chasten him with the rod of the men.
And that's how you can see also, because Christ was chastised by our own people. Our own people are the ones that beat him and stripped him. Keep reading.
And with the stripes of the children of men.
So Christ is the one who was going to establish his everlasting kingdom. But it did come through David's loins, through David's lineage. Yes, David and Solomon had a kingdom, but their kingdom wasn't everlasting. Christ's kingdom is going to be the one that's going to be here forever and ever and ever. And Christ came through his lineage. Okay, 2 Maccabees 2:58.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 58.
This story amazed me when I was a kid.
Elias, for being zealous and fervent for the law, was taken up into heaven.
Okay, that's in 2 Kings 2 and 11. 2 Kings chapter 2 and 11.
The book of 2 Kings, chapter 2 and verse 11. And it came to pass, as they still went on and talked, that behold, there appeared a chariot of fire.
So a chariot of fire came.
And horses of fire.
And horses of fire.
And parted them both asunder. And Elijah went up by a whirlwind into heaven.
So Elijah, because of his righteousness and how much he loved the Most High God and kept his commandments, he was taken straight up to the kingdom of heaven. He didn't see death at all. Whew. All right. Go back to 2 Maccabees 2:59. So these are all prophets of the Most High God who he never forsake and never forgot. So this is all examples that we should have faith in to know that the Most High God will redeem us too, if we walk by his ways, if we keep the commandments. If all of this is all, what's the word? Contingent? Contingent. It's all contingent on us keeping the commandments. Thank you. That's what you always got to remember. I don't think it's just going to be given to you. 2 Maccabees 2:59.
The book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 2 and verse 59. Ananias, Azarias, and Mishael, by believing, were saved out of the flame.
By believing, by keeping the commandments. Get that picture again? By keeping the commandments, to get Daniel 3 and 8, they were delivered from the fiery furnace. We're going to see just how hot that furnace was. Daniel chapter 3 and verse 8. Start there.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 8. Wherefore at that time, certain Chaldeans came near and accused the Jews.
Accused. You read it?
They spake and said to the king Nebuchadnezzar.
King Nebuchadnezzar was a Babylonian king.
O king, live forever. Thou, O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall...
And one thing, when any of our forefathers were in captivity and in high positions, it was never that ruler who came straight for them. It was always the people under him who were jealous or envying how the children of Israel were being treated, and they went to whisper sweet nothings into the king's ear, whoever was in rulership in that person's ear, to turn them against the children of Israel. That's how you know it's always going to be people who are going to want your downfall. That's why you have to stick by the commandments, because you are going to get falsely accused. Okay. Keep reading.
Verse 10.
Thou,
O king, hast made a decree that every man that shall hear the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music, shall fall down and worship the golden image.
So like, O king, didn't you make this law? I know you made this law. Keep reading.
And whoso falleth not down and worshipeth, that he should be cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
And again, all this was a setup because they knew that we didn't worship all those false images. So this all was a setup for them to have this happen to us.
There are certain Jews whom thou hast set over the affairs of the prince of Babylon.
There are certain Jews who you set up over. So now again, they're trying to get him riled up. The Jews that you set up, they not following you. Ain't that your boy? Whose man is this? That's basically what they're saying. Keep reading.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, have not regarded thee.
They disrespected you. They're not listening to you.
They serve not thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Then Nebuchadnezzar, in his rage and fury, commanded to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to the king.
Keep reading.
Nebuchadnezzar spake and said unto them, Is it true, O Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Do not ye serve my gods, nor worship the golden image which I have set up? Now ye be ready, that at what time ye heard the sound of the cornet, flute.
So he wants to give them another chance. See what they're going to do.
Ye have heard the sound of the cornet, flute, harp, sackbut, psaltery, and dulcimer, and all kinds of music. Ye shall fall down and worship the image which I have made.
The false idol that he put up.
Well, but if ye worship not.
So if they did do that, everything would be well. He would forgive them. You know what? You did it this time, I'm not going to kill y'all. But
if ye worship not.
If you don't bow down to it.
Ye shall be cast in the same hour in the midst of the fiery furnace. And who is that God that shall deliver you out of my hands?
So now he's feeling himself. He's like, what God gonna deliver you out of my hands? Y'all go in the furnace. So if you don't praise my God, y'all gonna get burnt up.
Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God whom we serve,
the Most High God, if it be so, the Most High God is gonna what?
Is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace.
So they didn't know 100% for a fact that God was going to deliver them, but still either way, they were either going to die or God was going to deliver them. They knew it was option A or option B. And they were still faithful. They didn't know which one was going to be, but it didn't matter. They were still going to keep the commandments and not serve or bow down to no false image. Keep reading.
And he will deliver us out of thine hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, and we will not serve thy gods.
So even if he don't deliver us, we're still not going to worship your damn God.
Nor worship thine golden image which thou hast set up.
And they said that in the most respectful way, but they just weren't going to do it.
Then was Nebuchadnezzar full of fury.
He got even more mad.
And the form of his visage was changed
his whole countenance, he was all torn up.
Was changed against Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Therefore he spake and commanded that they should heat the furnace 17 times more than it was wont to be heat.
Wait, repeat it again? I read that wrong.
Then they should heat the furnace
you're right.
17 times more than it was wont to be heat.
Keep reading.
And he commanded.
To be heat than it was once. So they basically multiplied it times 7. The heat. Keep going.
And he commanded the most mighty men that were in his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and to cast them into the burning fiery furnace. Then these men were bound in their coats, their hosen, and their hats, and their other garments, and were cast in the midst of the burning fiery furnace.
So bring the picture up. Make fade my picture away. So Dash, can you make it full screen? That's fine. Or just zoom in so you can see the men at the bottom. I don't know how close they can see that. So, and I'll go down. So look how small those are. So that's the size of the furnace that they were thrown into. Or that's a depiction of the size of the furnace. Let me not say that. That's a depiction of how big the furnace could be that they were thrown into. All right, read verse 22.
Verse 22. Therefore, because the king's commandment was urgent, and the furnace exceeding hot.
Because they made the furnace 7 times hotter than it's supposed to be.
The flame of the fire slew those men that took up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
The fire was so hot, the men that threw them in there died just by being close to it.
And these 3 men...
Hold on, get 3 Holy Children, verse 25. Actually, start at 23. 24. Nah, 23.
This is the book of 3 Holy Children, verse 23. So that the flame steamed forth above the furnace.
Here's message. Where does yours say, and the king's servants? So I know it's sometimes.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
And the king's servants that put them in ceased not to make the oven hot with rosin, pitch, tow, and small wood. So that the flame steamed forth above the furnace 40 and 9 cubits.
So when you do the calculation, 40 and 9 cubits equivalates or equals to 73.5. I was doing too much. 73.5 feet. So go back to that. Find me a building or like a structure that's 73.5 feet high, or 74 feet. That's how high the flame was above the furnace. 74 feet. Keep reading.
23. So the flame steamed forth above the furnace 40 cubits.
74 feet.
And it passed through and burnt those Chaldeans it found about the furnace.
So just like we read in Daniel, they all got burnt up.
But the angel of the Lord
there's that but. Keep going.
But the angel of the Lord came down into the oven, together with Azarias and his fellows, and smote the flame of the fire out of the oven.
So the angel came down and put the flame out. Now mind you, they were already in the fire to begin with. So it's not like he put the fire out before they got in there. They was already in the fire. Keep reading.
Verse 26, and made the midst of the furnace as it had been a moist, whistling wind.
So you know when it's raining like a light drizzle and it's windy, you feel a nice breeze on your cheek? That's what the fire felt like. The same fire that was 75 feet in the air, that burnt people, throwing people in it, became a moist wind. A light breeze.
So
Keep reading.
So that the fire touched them not at all.
So the fire didn't touch them at all.
Neither hurt nor troubled them.
Neither hurt nor troubled them. Go back to Daniel.
The book of Daniel, chapter 3 and verse 22.
24.
24. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up.
So he was astonished, meaning surprised.
And rose up in haste.
He was confused. He was like, what? Hold up.
And spake and said unto his counselors.
Hold up.
Did not we cast 3 men bound in the midst of the fire?
Well, it was 3 men, right?
They answered and said unto the king, True, O king.
Yeah.
He answered and said, Lo.
He said, look.
I see 4 men loose.
I see 4 men loose in the fire.
Walking in the midst of the fire.
Walking in the midst of the fire. It was moonwalking in that flame. Keep going.
And they have no hurt.
And they not hurt at all.
And the form of the 4th is like the Son of God.
The form of the 4th one was like an angel. Keep reading.
Then Nebuchadnezzar came near to the mouth of the burning fiery furnace, and spake, and said, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, ye servants of the Most High God, come forth.
Oh, so you see that? What did he call them?
Servants of the Most High God.
But wasn't he just mocking him back in verse 15? Talking about, is your God going to save you? So the Most High does these things also to show to the heathen how powerful he is. That's that Romans 9:17. Keep reading. So now they serve to the Most High God. Oh man, keep reading.
Come forth and come hither. Then Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego came forth of the midst of the fire.
So they walked out of the fire.
And the princes, governors, and captains, and the king's counselors, being gathered together, saw these men, upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor was an hair of their heads singed.
So even their hair, nothing was touching them. Keep reading.
Neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire had passed on them.
So they didn't even smell like smoke. At Tabernacles, we were sitting by the fireplace, and when you take your jacket off, you smelling all like charcoal and firewood. And we just sitting by it. They was in the furnace. Bring up the picture again. Blow the picture. They was in that furnace, and they came out smelling like the same oils they was wearing before they went in there. They was smelling like Frank and Murph.
There you go.
It was still smelling good. Keep reading.
Verse 28. Then Nebuchadnezzar spake and said, Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who hath sent his angel and delivered his servants that trusted in him.
So has sent his angel. That's how you know back in verse 25, that's talking about an angel and not Christ. Because it just said right there, that's what like Arthur Dothan said, sometimes you got to read up and down to get the understanding. The 4th man he said was like the Son of God was talking about an angel. And that's in verse 28. Keep reading.
And delivered his servants that trusted in him, and have changed the king's word, and yielded their bodies, that they might not serve nor worship any God except their own God. Also,
anytime in the Bible you see a lowercase God, it's either talking about us as being gods or heathen or pagan gods. That's what you can always tell. When it's capital G, it's talking about the Most High God. Keep reading.
Verse
29.
Therefore, I make a decree that every people, nation, and language which speak.
So because he saw the Most High God's power to deliver them out of that furnace,
which speak anything amiss against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego.
If you speak against the Most High God, this is what's going to happen to you.
Shall be cut in pieces. And their houses shall be made a dunghill. because there is no God that can deliver after this sort. Then the king promoted Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego in the province of Babylon.
So they went from being thrown in a fiery furnace for not praising the false God, by sticking to their guns, sticking to the commandments, to now the Most High God saved them out of the furnace that should have. Did you find the picture of a building that's 75 feet tall? So we can see comparison. Out of a furnace that should have, or a tree. Find like a tree that's that tall. To show the comparison. People standing next to it, so they can see how big it actually was. Now they got promotions. Not only did the Most High deliver them, but they got promoted they're in captivity. Remember, all this is they're still in captivity, and they're getting promoted. That's what shows you always got to stick to the Most High's laws. What's up? Soda Nathaniel. Who got the mic?
If you bring the story up to the daytime, it's kind of like the Collar Kaepernick case.
Yeah, he's sticking to his guns.
Not doing, sauce and
Yeah.
Right, and was offered a Nike deal.
Right. A lucrative Nike deal. Okay. While I find that picture.